The next station is
Innovation. Innovation.
Innovation Station today we talk green marketing.
Yes, green marketing. And we talked about this briefly in the part of the opening, right? Green marketing works really well, especially in this time of, of consumers wanting to buy products that are eco-friendly.
Yeah, I think it's been a thing for a while, right? I can't. Nothing comes to mind, and I'm sure Caleb will give us some good examples today about what green marketing actually is. But I'm just assuming it's stuff that says like our products are okay for the environment. Your carbon footprint is smaller or non-existent when you use our products, but it's been a thing for a while.
Yes.
But I can't think of anything off the top of my head as to what it might be.
Okay, well, I have plenty of examples today. Well, first of all, green marketing can involve a lot of different things, but some that you mentioned, Steve, like for instance, if your product, when it's produced, like there's a reduced amount of emissions, then that's green marketing, right?
Okay.
And we say, in our manufacturing process, we don't release a lot of carbon dioxide.
Would something like, I don't know, say bathroom cleaner, right? Where you buy your initial thing and then they give you some extra like little packages of the liquid to refill, so you can refill it yourself.
Right.
Is that an example of green marketing?
Yes, that is an example of green marketing because you're using one plastic bottle, right?
Okay.
And then you're
kind of using three
You
plastic
are.
bottles because the other stuff's in plastic too.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that would work.
But that's an example too.
That is an example. And also, if companies use recycled materials for their packaging, that's another way of doing green marketing. Also, if the company, it doesn't have to do with their product per se, but then if they're showing that they're environmentally conscious, and let's say they're donating money to planting trees, that's another way of doing green marketing as well.
Yeah, that's called offset something, I think.
Oh.
So, for example, if airlines donate a ton of money to planting trees, it's called offset something. I forget the term. So it's like, well, what we're doing isn't great for the environment, but we're also doing something to help the environment.
To kind of like level it
a
out.
counterbalance type thing.
Or sometimes it has nothing to do with their, carbon emissions. They just, because some products or some companies, they provide service that doesn't emit carbon dioxide, right?
Right.
Like, hotels, right? So if they donate money to like those environmental causes, then they are doing green marketing. So green marketing is a very valuable tool because it really enhances your brand image quickly. You can do it very quickly. But the overhead cost is pretty pricey. So for a lot of startups and small-sized companies, sometimes it's unrealistic.
Why is it so expensive as opposed to other types?
Well, because you do have to pay a lot of money like before something happens, right? It's an overhead cost. It's not like paid after you see a profit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. So it's money that you've invested into not only the campaign, but the products to make sure that they're environmentally friendly anyway.
Exactly.
Okay, I get it. Yep.
Yeah, but it's very important that companies who say that they are going green really do go green because sometimes it's just a perceived image. And if that becomes, a known, then it becomes problem for the company as well. So when you're going green, you really do have to go green.
Remember when we did I did the fast fashion topic on the show one day? And then in the documentary, the guy was at the store and he showed the person the label on the T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And the label on the T-shirt said made with recycled materials. And he said, so what do you think about this T-shirt? And she said, it's good. It's made with recycled materials. And he said, no. The tag is made with recycled materials. And that was the reaction of the customer as well. So do your research. Yep. It's always beneficial.
Yeah, so I'll give you an example of one company that really went, I don't know, a lot of their brand image was lost because of trying to go green. So this one cosmetics company, they said they're going to put their cosmetics in paper bottles.
Okay.
So the bottle actually said, hello, I'm paper bottle. But it turned out that it looked like paper initially, but inside there was a very thin line of plastic.
Okay.
To hold the bottle itself. So it turns out it wasn't totally paper. And when people found out, they're like, this isn't a paper
It's
bottle.
fraudulent, yeah.
It is fraudulent. But in a way, they did reduce the amount of plastic, but because they weren't really honest about it and people found out, a lot of people started not boycotting that
You
brand.
can seriously damage your company's image, right? If
Exactly.
you get caught. All right, green marketing. That's our topic today. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll dig a little deeper. Here are the Shins. Simple song. So where can we see examples of this green marketing then?
All right, we talked about, how Kate uses, what straws? Metal straws?
Yeah, the stainless straws.
Instead of plastic straws.
Yeah, sorry.
One coffee company.
I was just about to say
Yes.
coffee companies,
Yeah,
right?
they're using paper straws instead of plastic straws now.
Right.
Yes,
And-
I was in a corner store one day, and they too had paper straws
So it's becoming a thing.
that were wrapped in plastic.
Oh, like the inner part was.
Because you have to protect from
That's true.
germs and stuff, right? So the way it was protected was with plastic. So step in the right direction, but not exactly
Yeah.
fully there yet, huh?
But that same company also provides a 301 discount on your coffee if you bring your own tumbler.
Yep.
So that's way of green marketing.
Yep.
Also, talking about cosmetics, one cosmetics company recently launched its second refill store. So if you buy one plastic bottle from their company and you bring it every time you're done, they
Oh.
refill the shampoo or body wash for you.
That's good. I think that's actually pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good. So then you don't have to keep buying that bottle over and over, or even like I mentioned it before, but I never really understood it. When you get the refill packages, the refill pouches, well, that's still plastic. Maybe it's
I think
plastic
it's
that-
less plastic.
Yeah, and it breaks down or easier,
Yeah.
blah, blah. I don't know what it does, but anyway. But that's even better, right?
Yeah.
Why can't we do that for milk?
Oh. Oh, we go old
asking me?
school.
Well, no, I'm just thinking, like, Kaylin.
Yeah, he's like looking at me like, why aren't you doing anything?
No, how they have these sections of grocery stores, or maybe even they have full-on grocery stores where they'll sell like ugly potatoes
Oh, yeah.
or ugly tomatoes. And sometimes they'll have refill sections where you can bring in your stuff and get it refilled, right? Like maybe they'll sell cereal that way or something. But I was thinking like water or milk or things like that, where you could bring back your own milk cartons. I don't know, or maybe they would have to be glass cartons to
Right.
make sure they're
Yeah.
clean and stuff. But just other things that we could maybe do in the future that would reduce it even less.
Yeah, maybe. Or maybe packaging is a huge deal for those kind of products for it to last longer as well. Because it's like pasteurized milk, right?
True.
So I guess for that, there isn't really an easy way to do that.
Suppose
so
so.
maybe,
Yep.
yeah. But companies are trying.
Plastic forks,
Oh, yeah.
paper forks and paper spoons. That became a thing too, right?
Yes, it did. But I once heard somewhere that, is plastic bags better or worse for the environment or paper bags? And that scientist, it may be his own personal thing, but he said paper bags because we're cutting down trees.
More trees, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a good thing if we
Well,
turn to paper
I mean,
stuff.
at least we can plant more trees, right? The more plastic we use, all it does is go into the ocean and it doesn't go anywhere. So, no, it's not a perfect solution, but
Right.
at least it's a sense of some sort of solution, right?
Yes. And also, can I do quickly a couple of more examples?
Sure.
Okay, so these days, delivery apps, right? Usually they deliver disposable spoons and forks, as you mentioned, to customers. They automatically, right? It was on default. But nowadays, default, they don't bring it to you unless the customer asks for those.
Yeah, and you can check a box that says you want it. But if you don't check it, I think it remains unchecked.
Yeah.
right?
Yes. It was the other way around before.
Also, I noticed at one particular fast food restaurant at their drive-through, they stopped giving out a straw. A plastic straw. If you ask ask for it, they will give it to you. But it's good. Number one, they don't give it to you automatically, and number two, they don't ask you if you want one.
Yeah.
They leave it up to you to ask them. So a lot of people, they're not paying attention at the time. So that's good too. That's a step in the right direction too. And that sounds like a very, very small, minute detail. But if you think about how many branches of that fast food restaurant around the country and then around the world, and if all the branches are doing that, that's a pretty significant step.
Yes. And one electronics company, they recently introduced a remote control that runs on solar power. Instead of using batteries.
Interesting.
And also banks, they are also using green marketing. So for instance, one bank is holding a promotional event to give a higher rate for installment savings to people who promise to buy an electric vehicle.
Oh, interesting.
Or use a tumbler.
Yeah, that's an incentive to do it,
Yes,
right?
it's an incentive.
The remote control charged by the sunlight, though. So if your remote control isn't charged,
You
you're
gotta
just,
hold it up to the sunlight.
What if it's cloudy? You're just watching the same channel all day long. That's going to be frustrating for people, guaranteed, right?
Yeah.
Still, though, a step in the right direction.
Right.
All right, we'll have to leave it there for the first hour of the show for today. Please do stick with us for the second to wrap up the first. It's Ace of Base, Beautiful Life.